So just to show you what I was talking about on the inside with the refrigerator, just to confirm that it's on, because sometimes you don't always see that pilot light, especially in the daytime. So I just like to open this, turn it counterclockwise, lift up, and just watch yourself. You can just touch that part right there. It'll heats up pretty good. You know the system is working. Even electrical, if you're not sure if it's completely on, because it does take a while, just feel that. If you feel it getting warm, it's working. And then if none of that's working, just make sure it's connected to power right here, attached.
Okay, so hot water heater.
So hot water heater. You want to turn on the hot water, do the dishes, take a shower. So first thing we're going to do is make sure the propane's on and have your lighter ready. And what we're going to do is turn on the pilot light to this. So just turn it a little bit. So you see pilot, but you want to line this up so you can push this red button down. What that's going to do is put a little bit of gas in here, propane, and at the same time push that down and light the pilot. Give it a couple seconds, you'll see it go, you'll see it light, and then you'll have a blue flame, little tiny blue flame there. And then what we're going to do is just move the pilot light, holding that button down, and then when we're done, just let go of that and turn it to on, and the main burner will light. And then give it a couple minutes and you can take your shower. You can then, before you go inside take a shower, you can close the door, take a shower. What I like to do is, when I'm done with the hot water, I don't like to keep the gas running. We have multiple smoke detector. We have a smoke detector, explosive gas detector, and a carbon monoxide detector in the unit. But just in case, I like to just come back outside after I'm done. And it's still on. This would still be burning. Watch your hands. It'll be hot. Just move it over to off. And just keep in mind, sometimes if it's windy or something like that, sometimes this burner could blow out. If you start smelling gas, or you're just not sure how to turn this off, and so all we're going to do is just go right to the front, and whichever propane you have on, turn it clockwise, and that'll shut all the gas off to the unit, and that'll shut off the system as well. So right to the right, see, no pressure. Turn it to the left, pressure. Now no pressure.
It's nice having the gauges on there so you know exactly how much propane is in there. And the previous owners told us only turn on one propane tank at a time. And we'll always have the tanks full when it's going out for rent, but they said that that can prevent you from running out of propane unexpectedly. You'll know when your first tank is empty. So that turns it to this tank.
Mm-hmm. And when in motion, you want everything off.
Propane off.
Yeah, you want all the propane off.
Now we're going to show you how to put the awning out, because everything in our Scamp is the original factory installed Scamp parts. So you can go on the Scamp website and see exactly how to do the hot water heater and the fridge. But the awning that we have on here is aftermarket. So it's a little bit different than the awning you would normally find on a Scamp. If you want to see a funny video of us trying to figure it out for the first time, go back and watch our camping video from Harper's Ferry. It's pretty entertaining.
So before we deploy the awning, I just like to make sure all the windows are closed, the door is closed, so nothing gets hung up. And to open it, you just undo the zippers. It won't fall out because it's rolled onto itself. I'll show you.
It is definitely nice to have the awning on the Scamp. It gives really good shade, but it's a little tricky to open, and it definitely takes two people. So you're going to unzip the outer case and then unroll it. The first thing you want to do is take the legs down. And the legs are the part that's going to support the awning against the ground. You're going to make sure that you have that locked into place with the locking mechanism on the leg. And then you're going to go up and take out the arm. And this is the part that actually connects to the camper. So you're going to lock the arm and then the end that connects to the camper has a little ball on it, and it clips into this plastic piece on the side of the Scamp. And then you're going to do that on the other side and hopefully not get eaten alive by mosquitoes in the process.
Just to secure it, we're just going to put stakes in the ground. Hammer them in and make sure it's secure.
And make sure you don't leave the awning out. We usually put it away whenever we leave the campsite, really, because if a thunderstorm comes up, it can pretty easily tear the awning. And at the very least, you have to make sure that you put one side lower than the other so that water can drain off of it, because again, if it rains really heavy and that water sits on top of the awning, it's enough to rip it off the camper. So just be really mindful of when the awning is open, and we really try to close it whenever we leave the campsite. To take the Scamp awning down, you're just going to do the same thing in reverse. So first you're going to unlock the arm, and then you're going to pull that little plastic ball out of the clip that's right on the side of the container that holds the awning. You're going to put the arm back up into the container, but be careful because it doesn't like to stay there, which I've learned a few times the hard way. And then the person on the other side is going to do the same thing. Pull the arm down, secure it back into the main metal beam, and watch your head. So just be careful. This might be something that I have to put more Velcro on, because that's my fix for everything that doesn't work well in the Scamp is Velcro. But after you have the arms taken down and secured, you're going to lower the legs. You're going to unlock the end, lower them all the way down, relock, and then you're going to bring that back up into the main metal bar at the end of the awning. Once all those pieces are securely back into the place where they belong, then both of you at the same time are going to roll the awning underneath. So you want to make sure you roll it under, because when it goes back up into the container that holds it, it will stay in place so that it doesn't fall out on you when you open it up. And this is where we switch sides. I should have started on the other side, but whoever's shorter can stand on the step, and that way you can actually reach so that you can zip the container for the awning closed, or you can just have the taller person do it. Let's look at the water system in the Scamp.
Provided you with 2 bins. I like to keep them separate, obviously. One fresh water and one for the black water. Or black tanks, gray tanks.
In the freshwater bin, you will find
gloves to do the job. I put them in this one, obviously, because you don't want to mix it in with that one. Doesn't make sense. But this is where you would hook up your freshwater connection to your pretty much your full hookup site. First thing we do is we want to hook this nozzle system up to the facility's water system. So just like your spigot at home, all you do is go to the nozzle, put that on, make sure all the systems are off. And then this right here is a pressure regulator, the water going into the Scamp. Because if you don't have this, sometimes the pressure can be too much and blow out all your lines. This is still off. So what I would do is I would hook it up to the main unit, to their unit of water, run this hose, and hook this up to the fresh water that is located on the side of the Scamp. When I have everything hooked up, I would turn on the main water to the spigot, and then you can turn it on and off the water as you wish with this lever. And now water would be going into the Scamp, filling up your shower, hot water heater. You want it off, opposite, and that's it, it's off. But keep it on, and water will be running through your system. And I left this, if you just want to hook up, just say another hose, clean something off, fill something up. Another option. Provided you with a just normal hose. It's pretty much the same thing, but you can regulate it, obviously. So this would be a scenario where you just have electrical hookups or no hookups, but you want to fill the Scamp up with water. So you can't do it on the other side right now, so you have to fill up the tank, the fresh water tank. So I'd hook this up to their water system, the nozzle, and then go right over here open this up. And then sometimes you can use this depending on the pressure. If you have to take it off, just keep it real low pressure. You would just fill this up. And then you'll know it's filled because it'll just overflow and your tank is fully filled. But then now, because you don't have pressure in the system, you are now using the freshwater tank. To use it, you would have to go inside and turn on the water pump. You'll hear it, it'll come on, and then you'll hear it get enough pressure back of the line. It'll go, and it'll shut off. And then when you clean something, wash your hands, take a shower, you'll hear it kick on again to keep that pressure up. That's what's keeping the pressure in the line. But when you go to sleep or when you're not using it, turn it off just in case so you don't burn out that pump, or if you're in motion. And the other thing is too, if you're looking to go and if you're going to boondock somewhere and want to fill this up, I wouldn't have it halfway filled up. It's either empty or completely filled because you don't want it going back and forth and throwing off your weight.
The water will move when you're trailering and it'll cause the trailer to sway.
Yeah.
On the side here is where the electric hookup, the water hookup, and then this is the gray water exit. So in a Scamp, the black and the gray water are actually separate. The black is up at the front. Here's the black water exit toward the front of the Scamp. So just keep that in mind when you're emptying. You're going to do your black and then your gray so that it flushes out the sewer hose. But we will do a video of the full setup and how to empty the tanks the next time that we're at a full hookup site. Just a little bit trickier to show you when we're home. Let's look at the bin for the black and the gray tank.
Black tank, all we have is, this helps with the slope, so it just comes out and you put your, some people call it a poo snake, on this so you get a gradual slope so it doesn't gather. And then you put this connected to the sewer itself, to their hookups at the site. And then if that doesn't fit, you can use this adapter. All cleaned, by the way. If we're at a site and I know we're going to be there for a night or two, I like to hook up the gray water. So you can use as much shower as you want, water. You can keep it open, it just flows right out. And use up the black tank as much as, get it filled because you want it all going out at the same time. So before we leave, I'll close this and use up all the water in the unit so it goes down to the gray tanks. So we have water. I'll explain in just a minute. Because the trick is, when you go to empty out your black tank, you empty the black tank first, get everything out as much as you can, close it, then come over, hold your nose, go over to the gray, hook it up, and then use that water to flush and clean the poop snake, which I'll show you where the poop snake's at. So this is where the poop snake stays, counterclockwise, pop it out, take the snake out, use it as needed, put it back, just close this, and clockwise. That's it.
The door to the Scamp has this hook that you can hold. You're actually going to pull on that when you're trying to close the door. And then the latch for the Scamp, so you want to make sure that this clicks into the closure for the door, and then you push that to lock it. And the other important thing about the Scamp door is that when it is open, make sure that you always use this latch to keep it in place, because if not, the wind could blow and it'll slam the door and you could break the hinges or crack the fiberglass. So always make sure you latch the door into place.
In this Scamp, there's no centralized computer or anything for the lights or a light switch. They're all independent to each other. So if you want to turn the outside light on, which keeps it simple, easy to fix, just actually turn the outside light on with the switch right there. So for the lights on the inside, they're just the same as the light here. Just you have to turn on every light individually, and there's only a couple lights in there anyway. So if you weren't plugged in on the side with the outlet or the extension cord to a podium, you would have to go off of the battery. And The battery is direct current, it's not alternating current. So the outlets in the Scamp will not work. But for the functions of direct current, you will have the fans inside will work, the heater will work, the lights will work, the pumps will work, but the only thing you don't have are the outlets themselves. So charge your appliances and everything before you went boondocking without a hookup to the main power grid. And if you are boondocking, just keep in mind how much power you're using up, because it's only one deep cycle battery. So when the unit is plugged in to your car, it is charging the battery, and then when you get to another site, hopefully with power, you can plug in and recharge that battery.
Thanks for watching our walkthrough of the Scamp and how to use all the systems. Again, you can check the website scamptrailers.com, and they have really good explanations and videos of how to use everything in the Scamp. It's like an online user manual, which is really helpful, but we wanted to show you exactly how to do everything on our particular camper, just in case you are renting it, or for those of you who are maybe thinking about getting your own Scamp in the future.
Well, you worried about you and me, the injustice, the next president to be, the news and what you hear, your career. It's time for you to face those fears, and it's all fair to be aware, and I'll be there, so don't be scared. Just take a deep breath of air, and 1, 2, 3 to 10, you begin to focus again, and though time flies, we'll have enough to